The aardwolf might be the cutest little creature in the world, and we're totally in love. Animal lovers pride themselves on their extensive knowledge of the animal kingdom. If you're watching this, chances are you count yourself among their numbers. You can probably recognize your fair share of fauna on Earth, both strange and common. For instance, you've heard of aardvarks and you've heard of wolves. But there's one animal you probably haven't heard about. Ladies and gentlemen, prepare to meet an aardwolf. They're not aardvarks and they're not wolves, but they are totally awesome and real. If you love animals, especially rare ones, prepare to add another to the list, the aardwolf. Believe it or not, in spite of its name, the aardwolf is actually not a wolf at all. The animal isn't an aardvark either. The aardwolves have a special story, and there's a reason you haven't heard much about them. As the only surviving species in their family, they're more closely related to hyenas than other animals. Believe it or not, these cuties feed on insects, mainly termites. They sure would come in handy as a house pet, sniffing out those awful bugs in homes, wouldn't they? Adult aardwolves are approximately the size of a fox, but that's where the similarities between those two very different creatures end. Once you spot an aardwolf, it's hard to forget just how distinctive their appearance really is. Scientists used to think of them as solitary creatures. That's because their low numbers and their tendency to be active at night made them difficult for scientists to research. The fact is that they're actually very family-oriented. Aardwolves live as families, and while the size of their packs may vary, they typically include a male, a female, and no more than 2 of their offspring. Scientists are still trying to figure out if this is coincidental or biologically driven. They're shy and nocturnal, and they sleep in burrows during the day. They tend to avoid human interaction, though when it comes to interacting with each other, these little guys are as social as they come. Aardwolves communicate with each other through noises called chirps. They're called chirps for a reason, because that's exactly what they sound like. Once you hear their call, it's a sound you're unlikely to ever forget. You wouldn't know it by looking at them, but in addition to all that chirping, they've got a fierce howl and a scary bark, which they use to intimidate predators. They need these sort of defenses because of their relatively small size. Aardwolves are also great fighters, as they're gifted with nimble reflexes and very sharp teeth. So while these guys might look cute and fluffy, they can more than take care of themselves when push comes to shove. While they might be distantly related to hyenas, aardwolves aren't particularly fast runners like their cousins. That's okay because they make up for it with their ability to burrow. Rather than run away, they can just hide in a hole. Oh, did we mention that they're incredibly cute? While that's not exactly going to protect them from any predators, it is certainly worth mentioning. Can you imagine ever being lucky enough to spot one of these out in the wild? Just look at those ears! Besides being adorable, they serve an important function. The aardwolf's sense of hearing is incredibly powerful. They rely on their large ears to help them detect predators on the move. In some areas in eastern Africa, aardwolves are persecuted by farmers who mistakenly believe that they prey on livestock. It's a real shame that people in these areas don't know the truth about these sweet creatures. The fact of the matter is that the presence of aardwolves is actually really beneficial to farmers and their income because they eat termites that are detrimental to crops. They should be praised by the farmers, not persecuted. Aardwolves have many other different names. They're also known as civet hyenas for their secretions they produce from their anal glands. They're also called manhar jackals. Whatever you call them, there's no denying that they're awesome. Their genus name Protellus means complete in front and refers to the fact that they have 5 toes on their front paws and 4 toes on their back. Their species name Cristatus means provided with a comb in reference to their manes. Aardwolves have specialized cheek teeth too. They're strong jaws and canine teeth, but they have an additional set of cheek teeth that look like flattening pegs and are used for eating insects. Aardwolves primarily use their canine teeth for fighting and defense. Aardwolves are extremely territorial and will do anything to protect their young. A mating pair of aardwolves has a home range of up to 4 square kilometers. Both sexes mark their territories with secretions from their anal glands. That might sound disgusting, and it is, but it's also very effective. Aardwolves use their manes to appear bigger. If another aardwolf intrudes upon their territory, they'll raise their manes as a warning signal and chase the intruder away. If the intruder's caught, which happens rarely, a fight will occur. For the most part, however, they are a peace-loving kind of creature. Aardwolves may be slow-moving, but who cares about speed when you're this cute? They may be the most adorable creatures most people didn't even know exist.